Grant Hill joining us. What was the first hoop shoe that you wore?
Wow. Back in the day, Dan, probably the top 10 Adidas. Those were big. I think maybe late 70s, early 80s. And then I think the first shoe that I got excited to wear, like it was like, oh, I have to go get those, were probably the first Air Jordans. And I think I was in 8th grade. And I thought I was the man. Not because of my game, but because of my shoes.
But you had the Fila deal, which that was different than everybody else, right?
Yeah, no, it was different. It was different. And, as we go back and reminisce, that wasn't sort of on the radar when I was coming out of college. I was a big Nike fan and wore Nikes my senior year at Duke when Coach K switched from Adidas to Nike. But, Fila came to the hole hard. They came to the basket hard with an offer, and so it was different. And we had fun. We had some shoes that came out that, ironically, now I'm old enough to where they're kind of retro shoes, so you see them sort of re-released and reissued. And but yeah, had fun with Fila back in the day, and had some cool shoes. And look, as a kid growing up, you always want to have your own signature shoe and commercials and all that stuff. And so I was, lucky enough to do that.
Do you have any memorabilia?
It's funny you asked that. So I was just in between games 2 and 3. I went home to my parents' house in the D.C. area. And my dad is a borderline my dad has everything. I mean, he's a borderline hoarder. Mm-hmm. And so he has all of his memorabilia, all of my memorabilia, and it's like a shrine to the Hills in their home. And so, I mean, I'm talking, he still has cleats in storage that he wore when he played football at Yale. So it's cool when you have a parent that keeps everything and every memory from when you played. And so I was there and got a chance to show my kids some of the old videos and trophies and my memorabilia, his memorabilia. It really is pretty amazing. And, it's cool. It's cool to see. I was never into that stuff when I played, and so my parents were, so I just kind of gave all that, my Rookie of the Year trophy, his Rookie of the Year trophy, my, Akeem Olajuwon's Olympic jersey signed, just random stuff. Michael Jordan's shoes from the All-Star game in 97.
Wait, how did you get those?
Pardon me?
How'd you get those?
I just asked.
Wait, so you say to Mike...
You ask and you shall receive.
But do you ask Mike after the game or...
Before.
Oh.
Before the game.
Oh, okay.
And, but just all types of, stuff that I either have myself or, that I experienced myself or I got from others. And, I just kind of gave it to my parents because I was young and irresponsible and probably would lose it. And now that you're older, you appreciate it. And obviously all of those items sort of bring back memories, and represent a certain time, and there's a story behind them. And so I do have, Calvin Hill my dad has all the memorabilia, but so hopefully he'll pass it on to me one day.
He's Grant Hill joining us from Cleveland. Kevin Love hasn't been officially cleared to play, but let's say he is cleared to play. Do you want him off the bench or do you want him starting tonight?
I think because of the matchup with Golden State, who obviously thrives with a smaller lineup, even their starting lineup with Bogut, you have Draymond Green, who's a power forward, but not in the traditional sense, initiates the offense, plays on the perimeter. They really spread the court well. With so many of those basketball experts talking about Mozgov starting and going big like last year in the finals, Tyronn Lue goes small with Richard Jefferson. And I thought defensively that really helped. I don't think Golden State came ready to play as well, but I think just being able to switch on the perimeter, have another athletic body out there, I think it really sort of contributed to their defensive presence to start the game. And so I would continue with that. And it's nothing personal. Look, if Love were to play, I think he can still have an effective role. He can still make an impact. And you're going to need him healthy, I think, to close out this series if you're Cleveland. But right now, look, playoffs are about adapting and adjusting. We saw Steve Kerr do it last year, which was really, I think, instrumental and changed the tone of the series and ultimately helped Golden State win. You know, you got to do what you got to do. And so, look, I was in a similar situation, not in the finals, but in college. At Duke, 1992, towards the end of the year, Christian Laettner gets in a fight with Cherokee Parks in practice. Cherokee lands on my ankle. I have a high ankle sprain. So I missed the last 2 or 3, maybe 4 games of the regular season, maybe 5 games. I come back. Coach K decides to bring me off the bench. And I came off the bench through the entire ACC tournament and all the way through the NCAA tournament. Now, at 19 years old, I didn't like it. But, hey, that was what was sort of decided, and that's what Coach felt, you know, would help, you know, help us win the ball game win the championship. And we did it, and we won. And you know what? Years later, you know, whatever feeling I had when he first told me that, you know, back in 1992, you know, I was probably upset, but you go with the program, and winning is the ultimate. So anyway, I was younger, I was immature, but I still bought in, and we had great results. And so, you know, I know it's a little bit different, but for Kevin Love, you want to win.
Yeah.
And I also think there's uncertainty. You don't know yet what Kevin Love you're getting. I mean, he had a concussion. He was concussed to the point where he was unable to play in Game 3. So let him work his way back. Let him maybe monitor his minutes a little bit. It takes the pressure off of Kevin and allows him to come in and get his rhythm and find out what he can do and what he can contribute. So, you know, that's a long answer to your question, but I do think bringing Kevin Love, if he's able to play, bring him off the bench here in Game 4.
Were you ever in a fight?
Yeah. I was ever in a fight. Yeah.
In the NBA?
I mean, first of all, the NBA, no. But, I mean, obviously growing up, yes, a little bit. Definitely in college, I'd say we fought all the time.
Did you fight in practice?
I mean, if you watched it in practice?
Yeah.
Nah, we didn't fight so much in practice, but we fought a lot. I think Laettner kind of created an environment. We all kind of fought each other. And not in a bad way, but just, yeah, there was a lot of, on that team, we were very juvenile, and I think at times we might have won in spite of all that, just that craziness. But, yes, we did have our moments, and I think that kind of, you know, that was sort of the attitude and the mindset of who we were as a team, you know. And but yeah, we did fight. Didn't fight in the NBA, but I witnessed some really good fights in the NBA with my teammates.
In practice, in the locker room?
Yeah.
What's the best one?
You know, I kind of feel like what happens, even though I just kind of talked about what happened in Duke, but, you know, I think, actually, ironically, Stackhouse and Laettner had a pretty good fight once on the airplane. That was pretty funny.
On the airplane?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Well, it wasn't funny at the moment because you're 40,000 feet up in the air. But, you know, look, stuff happens. And I think things go on internally like things would happen with a family. And that happens, I think, in the NBA. It happens in college. And, you know, I think the beauty of it is guys can work past it, move forward, learn from it, grow from it, become even closer as a result. But that happens. I don't know if it happens as much now, but it certainly happened more so, I think, back in the day.
Was there anybody who didn't want to punch Christian Laettner on the team?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think. Look,
Wait, did you ever want to punch Leitner?
I did punch. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, we would. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I did it. I did want to do it, and I did before, and you know what? He punched me before. I mean, like, that happens, and you know, in the film, I think it was touched on a little bit in his documentary, which I think we all enjoyed, or at least I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we fought sometimes almost daily. And when I say we, I mean I'm inserting me into that as well. But it was just that was the environment. It was fun. It was juvenile. We were all kind of on edge. A lot of trash talking. But I think we were also mature enough to, you know, hug up, go to dinner, hang out, be friends. That was the vibe and the energy of our team. And I think it contributed to our mindset and our ability to go out there and fight. But it was crazy and it was weird, but it was fun. And I think we all enjoyed it.
He's Grant Hill. You can see him on NBA TV's comprehensive NBA Finals pre- and post-game coverage, including the expanded 90-minute Live at the Finals pregame show that starts at 7 Eastern tonight. Grant, always great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. It's Grant Hill.
Trick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.